On 9th July 1923, a French woman named Marguerite Alibert shot her husband several times in the back, and his body collapsed onto the floor. Throughout her life, she had experienced poverty and prostitution before winning the hearts of not one, but two princes from different nations. Marguerite didn't try to flee when the hotel staff rushed into the room to take her husband to the hospital. Instead, she maintained her composure. She knew she had a secret in her suitcase that was her literal get-out-of-jail-free card that would enable her to commit murder without being caught. Marguerite Marie Alibert, who was born on 9th December 1890, was the eldest child of a working-class Parisian marriage. She was raised with the aspirations of a high-class Parisian woman because both of her parents worked for the city's elites. With excellence parallel to an earl's spouse, Marguerite Marie Alibert was getting to be a dazzling, intelligent, and modern lady with a shining future, until appalling occasions unfolded. Her 4-year-old brother bolted into the street and was hit by a truck. Because Marguerite was supposed to be watching him, her parents held her responsible for his passing and believed she needed additional training. They sent Marguerite to live in a convent named Saint Mary's, where the nuns beat her and continuously chastised her for feeling responsible for the unfortunate death of her brother. Marguerite fled the convent when she was 15 years old, leaving her parents in the dark about where she was living. She was pregnant when she was discovered, and at the age of 16, she gave birth to a girl. She claimed that André Montclair, the teenage son of an English lord, was the father of her kid. Although they were in love, the son was unable to obtain permission to wed a poor French woman, especially after she fell pregnant out of wedlock. According to another version of the story, Marguerite claimed that her daughter's father was a struggling art student at the nearby university who could not afford to support her. Whatever the case may have been, the father remained absent, and Marguerite was compelled to give her daughter Raymonde away to a farm family who would raise her. The young woman was nevertheless resolved to rise above poverty and lead the affluent life she yearned for. Prostitution offered Marguerite the perfect path in a time of courtesans and night girls. Marguerite got her start as a prostitute on the streets. During her singing concerts at neighborhood bars, she initially charmed men and afterwards went home with the wealthiest of them. Marguerite had a strange, seductive charm that men found immensely alluring. She was petite, with a fair complexion and beautiful auburn hair. She didn't have to wait long before Madame Dinat, the owner of a posh brothel, saw her. Dinat took Marguerite under her wing after realizing she was much more attractive and intelligent than most courtesans. Marguerite, then 16, flourished as a high-class prostitute under her guidance, learning the courtesan trade and mastering it. In 1907, Marguerite began dating André Mella, a 40-year-old married and affluent wine trader. Marguerite soon adopted his last name, Mella, despite the fact that they were never wed. When their romance came to an end in 1913, Marguerite received 200,000 francs from her ex. Through this relationship, she learned how to make a living by courting and seducing rich guys. Over the years, her success as a courtesan had increased dramatically, and she started hunting for another very profitable relationship. Coincidentally, the royal family was looking for a skilled courtesan to introduce Prince Edward, the future King Edward VIII, to the dynamics of a passionate relationship. Edward, who was then the Earl of Wales, was serving as a Grenadier Guards officer on the Western Front in France at the time in 1917. Edward's aristocratic acquaintances organized a formal meeting between the two. While Marguerite had discovered her first royal affair, Edward fell head over heels for her beauty right away. Whenever his wartime obligations allowed, Edward visited his girlfriend in secret, and while on duty, he wrote her up to 20 love letters. Along with expressing his affections for Marguerite, Edward also discussed the war's advancement and made derogatory remarks about his father, King George V. Following a passionate 12-month relationship, Edward quickly lost interest in his courtesan and began dating Freda War, a married woman. Marguerite, who was about to be dumped, cleverly utilized Edward's letters to demand astronomical amounts of money through blackmail. However, she made the decision to back off and save her extortion card in order to concentrate on her new victim, Charles Laurent, a well-off young Air Force officer. Marguerite soon wed Charles as her first legitimate husband in 1919 and adopted his name, Laurent. While their marriage ended in divorce, within 6 months, Marguerite received a massive divorce payment as she had planned. Marguerite ultimately achieved independence and the resources to support her affluent and opulent lifestyle after offering her services to wealthy men. Marguerite was merely 30 years old when she acquired an exquisite property called Avenue Henry Martin, a stable for 10 horses, a full-time groom, and 2 limos. She also reunited with her daughter Raymond and enrolled her in the top boarding school in the country. No one could see her real self because she was hidden from view under the mask of a typical high-class lady. Nevertheless, she kept looking for a new husband, despite having everything in order. In 1921, Marguerite was escorting another businessman to a party in Cairo when she met Ali Fahmy Bey, a charming and successful businessman in Egypt. In England and France, many people refer to him as an Egyptian prince, despite the fact that the word Bey is an honorific Egyptian title, similar to Lord. Marguerite was naturally interested in this, as she had a tendency to be a bit of a gold digger and was open to dating any affluent man. But this one looked like he may be worth keeping. He was a young, gorgeous prince after all, and he was head over heels in love with her. Marguerite soon embraced Islam, and the two were wed in 1922. Soon after the wedding, Ali began to control his independent bride by neglecting her, getting married to other women, and modifying her lifestyle to fit Egyptian customs. Marguerite, a cunning and hedonistic woman, could never be the obedient, submissive, and modest Islamic wife Ali pictured her as being. Marguerite realized she was in a cage when Ali removed the prenuptial agreement's provision, granting her the right to divorce. They began to argue more frequently and violently as their animosity rose. Marguerite even kept a daily list of all the things she detested about him, since her rage was brewing. On 9th July 1923, Marguerite brutally murdered Ali Fahmy Bey with 3 shots from a Browning .32 caliber revolver, putting an end to their marriage. The couple fought when they arrived back to the Savoy Hotel after seeing the operetta, The Merry Widow, in London. This is where the crime was perpetrated. Marguerite's case appeared to be headed towards the death penalty because there were witnesses present at the actual crime site. In order to fix this situation, Marguerite used her tremendous cunning. To blackmail the royal family, the Parisian used letters from Prince Edward. A deadly threat to the entire British establishment was posed by Marguerite's murder trial at London's Central Criminal Court. The British government, the royal family, and the judiciary all had to step in to avert what could have been the century's largest scandal. Andrew Rose, who wrote a book on this affair, stated, "We think there are about 20 letters which are wildly indiscreet." He said things about the conduct of the war that might have been misinterpreted. He's made rude remarks about his father, and there is commonly a sexual content in them as well. They are not the kind of letters that he would have wanted the world to know about. Mr. Justice Rigby Swift, the presiding judge, acquitted her in exchange for turning over the damaging letters behind the scenes. Sir Edward Marshall Hall, a well-known English barrister, fought Marguerite's case by making xenophobic remarks in an effort to damage the name of her deceased husband. Marguerite was ultimately exonerated on the grounds of self-defense, while the secrets of Prince Edward were kept a secret for over a century. After going free, she moved to Paris as Princess Margaret. However, because the Egyptian legal system was aware that she was a murderer, she was not permitted to keep all of Fahmy Bey's money. She continued to seduce wealthy men for the remainder of her life, while acting in supporting roles in films. She passed away on 2 January 1971, at the age of 80.